We are previewing NFL Week 11 here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with returning guest Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. And Joe Duffy, the second game you want to talk about in the NFL is Cleveland at Dallas. And Dallas is 7.5 or 9-point home favorite, depending on where you're looking, and that just automatically right there makes me nervous. You know, Tony Romo and the Cowboys as a more than a touchdown favorite always makes me nervous. Cleveland is also off of a bye, so right there, just looking at that situation, I'm thinking the Browns have to be the play here. I'm also leaning towards the over, just because the Cleveland can't really stop anyone. Their offense, though, with Trent Richardson, Brendan Reed, not that bad, so they should be able to put up some points themselves. So my leans initially Cleveland plus the points and over 43.5. What do you like here?
A term that I've used for decades is predictably unpredictable.
Right.
And both of these teams fit into that category.
Yes.
When you have one, much less two predictably unpredictable teams and a large point spread, you have to be aware that uncertainty is actually the enemy of the odds maker, and therefore it is the friend of the gambler. Both of these teams are erratic. The Cowboys, I certainly don't have to tell anyone, they're a high-profile team. Everybody knows that one week they can look like Super Bowl contenders. The next week they can look like they should only win 3 or 4 games. Meanwhile, Cleveland, for the exact reason you mentioned, they've got a great young running back, and Trent Richardson, especially because he's a physical running back and a rookie running back, he's the type of player that I think will really benefit from the off week. But their talent is pretty good. They have a big upside, and upside is a magic word in handicapping. Upside and downside are magic words in handicapping. Cleveland has nowhere to go but up. They do have the talent. They're a dangerous team. They're going to win games they shouldn't win. They're going to lose games that they should win, although when looking at their schedule, there aren't that many teams they're going to be favored against. I think they have a home game coming up against Kansas City. But Cleveland's another team that one week they're going to look like a team that's got some potential. Another week they're going to look terrible. But coming off of the bye, Dallas, meanwhile, coming off of that huge win where they snuck back into the race, a big win off of a divisional rival, Philadelphia, but predictably unpredictable teams in a situation like this. What do? They follow up a great effort with a terrible effort. Furthermore, Dallas has not been very good at home this year. They have only one home win. Tony Romo has already thrown 10 interceptions at home. One of the many things I use for handicapping is I listen to a lot of sports radio, and I will listen to The Ticket in Dallas, a very good sports station. I haven't actually been to the Jerry Dome or whatever the heck you want to call it, but Itzkis and a couple of other guys, the Dallas media, they have said that they feel that the Jerry Dome is so big, there's too many distractions, that the atmosphere is more antiseptic, almost like a Super Bowl atmosphere where there's no real home field advantage. And I heard them say this before it even opened. The fact that the Cowboys have not been a very good team at home leads me to believe what the guys in Dallas are saying are true. There's not really a huge home field advantage in Dallas, and this is a situation where I've seen the Cowboys fall flat on their face so many times off of a big effort against an inferior team. They could lose this game outright.
Wow. Joe Duffy, that was what an awesome preview that was, Joe Duffy. I'm completely convinced, though, actually. I mean, that just shores up my initial leans as well. I don't think there's anything more to say. Browns plus the points is a great bet here, in my opinion. I'm going to bet it after this call. Very quickly, before we let you go, what do you think about the over 43.5, maybe?
Again, the Dallas looked pretty good last week offensively. I think it's the perfect situation for them to have a letdown. What really does worry me is that if you bet the under, it could be a case where the defense has put this game over. There could be some turnovers deep in the opponent's territory. I disagree. There's a handicapper out there who I respect his opinion, but he often says, well, you can't predict turnovers. I disagree with that. You can predict turnovers. What I think is tough to predict is, will those turnovers benefit the over or the under? Because it could be a turnover inside your own red zone. It could be a turnover deep in your own territory. With predictably unpredictable teams, I like betting the big underdog. The totals are actually where the unpredictability is
a negative
disadvantage for the gambler.
Great preview.